Oh, it's flooding.
I'm Vin Diesel. I enjoy the Sullivan Project podcast. It's about everything, for everyone. I'm Groot.
In yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sullivan Project podcast. I'm your host, Harold Sullivan. Hope y'all feel blessed because every day is a miracle. I like to tell you that one, boy. I've been to go through some stuff. Even just sitting in a wheelchair, you'd think, like I said, you would think things wouldn't have that much happen. But you could pretty much not do nothing and just have anything thrown at you in the world. So I'd like to thank you all for checking out the Sullivan Project podcast. My way of trying to help the world be a better place. My name is Harold. If you haven't tuned in before, I was born with an autoimmune disease, and I haven't been able to walk since I was a child. I've been in a power wheelchair, and 4.5 years ago, I lost my eyesight. So now I'm blind, and I'm 47. Hey, I'm still here. Why are we all still here? You know, because we got stuff to do, and that's the reason. And we're not just here for nothing. So I like to you know, tell you, to not take things for granted. And when you wish you were someone else, don't. Because you can deal with what you got, but you don't know about what they got going on. And if you haven't tuned in to old episodes, we're on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook under Sullivan Project Podcast. Had to recently get a new Facebook, all kinds of technical issues, internet problems. I'm trying to get it. I can't figure out what could cause these problems that I'm having because these things are unreal. This problem. Old episodes and old stuff is on Harold's Sullivan period 35 on Facebook, and TikTok is Harold Sullivan 78. But the YouTube is still the same, so you can find everything though if you just go under Sullivan Project Podcast. I appreciate y'all. Anything you can do, like, share, uh, follow, whatever, however it is, comment. You can call the show, 724-513-1472, and you can email hs19782015 at we're doing audio if you want to be a guest, or you could just leave a message about something. Uh, if you want to comment or just get something out, because you never know. We live and die in a blink of an eye. And if you want to get something out, or find that person that you lost, and tell them, whatever, good or bad, because now's the time to do it. I wouldn't have my buddy Chris after 30 some years. We didn't talk since we were in elementary school. If I hadn't thought of his old number after I lost my sight, gave it a call, his landline, his mom still had the same number. And now we're talking again. And he's been on the podcast several times. So just think about it. Life is precious. It's more important than these things that you really think about. So yeah, let me get right to the internet problems. Also, I'm starting to do readings. Check out the Facebook and that. But I'm doing readings. I work with crystals, oils, cards, angel cards, energy. And I do some free readings as well. I offer some types of free readings. So you can call 724-513-1472 or email hs19782015 at outlook.com. So yeah, I have Verizon almost 3 years. It was good at first. Now the last couple of years, nothing but problems. I always got to call in because the signal's out. Someone's got to unplug the box and plug it back in, or they have to send a surge because that doesn't work, or it's just out in the area. And I've been complaining, and finally they tell me that I'm running on outdated stuff because I'm like something is wrong. So and then they're fighting with me about sending me new equipment. It's like that's part of the contract. So every couple of years you should get new equipment. So finally they're going to send me new equipment, and then Friday I get it, and we can't get it turned on. So we're going to try again. I've had nothing but problems with these guys, and I mean this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? They wouldn't identify me because I didn't know what number was attached to the account because I don't have Verizon. So they wouldn't talk to me for the longest time unless I could get something to go into my email. So these things just don't make sense. So anyway, I'm going to try again. But beware, because literally you could be running out of old stuff. I don't even know if I had ever had the equipment that worked right, because apparently the new equipment looks different than the old equipment. So I don't know if I was ever running on full strength or how long. But just beware. If your stuff isn't right, call and ask. You have the right to new equipment, and you should get new equipment anyways. They probably aren't going to send it to you unless you ask, and then they may give you trouble. But they gave me some credit for the future, because I've been calling 4 hours, 3 hours, literally every day, uh, the last couple of weeks because of this. So that's the problem. Verizon sucks. I reviewed Supernatural season 3 recently, and then the computer or the camera actually cut off. Can't explain why. And then I restarted it, and it was fine. It was like somebody actually pushed a button, and I heard when you hit the button, it makes a beep. That's how I know that I'm turning the camera off or on. Sometimes it still makes mistakes, but it actually beeped like someone turned it off. But I forgot to give my rating for Supernatural season 3. I gave I talked about the episodes, but the rating I'm gonna give it still, I'll say 7.5, not 8, but 7.5, because it was a shorter season again, and it's just like something was missing. You know what I mean? Other than that, I love Supernatural. All the seasons, and again, they've been moved to Peacock and Prime, not on Netflix anymore. So don't get disappointed. If you still have one of those two, you can get it. Also, Jason, they started filming the new Jason Friday the 13th TV show, but there's still no news. And I'm wondering here in February or March, maybe there'll be a trailer or the show will start. It's called Crystal Lake, supposed to be on Peacock, I believe. And they've actually got the lady who played Thelma in the Scooby Doo movies is going to be Mrs. Voorhees. Charisse Theron was in up for that early on, but she's too, like, you wouldn't expect her to be nice. She's just too menacing already. And they're going to have a Ralph. They're going to have a couple of the characters from the first Friday the 13th, the names from the casting I had recognized. So they're bringing in a lot of the characters to make it seem familiar. But it's basically, the plot is Mrs. Voorhees gives up her singing career to take care of her, mentally challenged son or something. I don't know. Of course, again, originally Jason was never handicapped or whatever. He was always a blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy. Till Savini made the decision to make him a mongoloid for the very end scene of Friday the 13th, and then they just continued it on. But he was supposed to look like his mother. He wasn't never disfigured. And my hip is bothering me. But my sores are getting better on my legs. I got a new uh, leg rest supposed to be coming from the new wheelchair company finally. I'm just going through all kinds of problems here. But that's news on Friday the 13th. Also, there's a Star Trek show called Sandusky, 55 Years of Star Trek. I'm through the first season almost. But I'm not going to review it. I'm just telling y'all, if you're fans of it, anything you want to know about anything Star Trek, any of the Star Trek shows, or anything Star Trek period is there. It's just almost a lot. I went, and each one's almost an hour. So, for them, I don't know how they got 2 seasons, but I guess there's 55 years worth of Star Trek. So yeah, you can get that many. Also, there's a movie called Age of Disclosure, which just came out, and it's about aliens and the government actually coming out and saying that there's UAP. That's what they've changed it. Unidentified aerial phenomenon now. And all these other things. It's pretty good though. And then there was one that's free. It's called Accidental Truths, which kind of goes along with it. It has a lot of the same stuff. So Age of Disclosure and Accidental Truth, all about phenomenon, aliens, and if you're into any of that stuff, the ancient aliens, all that stuff is in there. And Texas Chainsaw, I'm going to review the movie. I think it's just called Leatherface. It's not the newest Texas Chainsaw, but the one before that. And it's about these criminals that escape an asylum, and Leatherface is one of them. He's young, he's trying to go back home, and what are they doing with these characters? I like how it had like the mother and stuff from the original kind, some of the original family members, but it's just, oh boy, I'd give it maybe a 6 out of 10. Uh, Computer, what are my stickies? This is how I take notes in case y'all haven't tuned in before. Computer, what are my stickies?
I found 43 notes.
And right,
Windows
songs.
Update Vocal Splitter 303-9698. Star Trek 55 Micro Penis Farts. Internet Supernatural Italian Jason Texas Chainsaw Age of Disclosure Accidental Truth.
Okay, I tried Italian dressing the other day for the first time on a sandwich. Mixed into mayo on a steak. Philly cheesesteak was the greatest thing. I had heard about Italian dressing and people putting it on subs and that, but I didn't know if they just poured it on or it just seemed like gross to me to just have that soggy on there. But no, I just tried it with a little bit in there and it added something to it. So it's like, wow, this is a little thing. You know, last year I figured out I could open a banana. My hands are handicapped and I can barely use my fingers. So, I mean, I'm still figuring out things. You know, it's always great to learn something new. That feeling that gives you. You know what I mean? Micro penis. Now, this is weird. But scientists, or there's this organization that's grabbing DNA and doing these things, and they're testing. I don't know how what the criteria is of who they're testing, but they've tested like bad people or like leaders, and they've come up with Hitler. Apparently, why pick him? Had a micro penis. I didn't know this was a real thing. I guess it means it's like just a button there. What is this? Why even check that? They're checking other ones now. You can go look online for this stuff. This stuff is all for real. If I was joking, I'd tell you. But yeah, they're testing. They just did another one. They're testing different things. And you could use that for other stuff. You know, why even do that and come up with this? I guess they're trying to say that powerful men are trying to make up for something maybe, but that's just weird. But hey, I'm bringing you stuff you might not hear anywhere else. And that's what it's all about, you know. Keep your ears open, your senses open, your soul peeled, but don't keep it open because anything can get in. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna farts is another thing, which is another weird test. But they've done scientists to prove that women fart less than men. Okay, men fart a lot more, but women's have the nastiest some kind of thing in their ratio in their smell, the toxin that makes it more potent and stronger. So take that, you know, use that how you want. That women have stronger farts than men, and it's actually been proven scientifically. Good Lord, the Sullivan Project podcast. Huh? Hey, computer, what are my stickies? Computer, what are my stickies?
I found 43 notes. Windows Update Vocal Splitter.
Yeah, I need to fix my computer. I think the update's turned off.
Star Trek 55 Micro Penis Farts. Internet Supernatural Italian Jason Texas Chainsaw Age of Disclosure Accidental.
I love y'all, and we will be back soon. Remember, be the light, love is a choice, and so is the hate.